When Israeli Defense Minister Benny Gantz met with U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin recently, he reportedly presented a timeline for an Israeli attack on Iran's nuclear program and told Lloyd Israel is preparing for the Iranian challenge at the operational level. Following that exchange, the state-affiliated Tehran Times boasted in an article called "Just One Wrong Move" that Iran can hit Israel anywhere. To drive home that point, they included a map showing targets Iran had already selected throughout Israel. The question for many is, how do Israel and Iran view the U.S. role in this confrontation?
I think the picture is clear that the Iranians see that the United States they don't have to fear the United States, and they're continuing to escalate their program. And in return for the escalation, all they get is more and more concessions to the administration.
Michael Makovsky, CEO of Ginza, a security think tank, has recently talked with a number of Israeli military leaders.
They feel they're alone. They know they're alone. They see a U.S. that is withdrawing from the region, retreating, afraid of confrontation, desperate for a deal, not able to instill fear in the Iranians. And they feel the responsibility is going to be on them, the Israeli military, to prevent a nuclear Iran.
Makovsky says these Israeli military leaders see U.S. weakness and cite the recent Afghan pullout, U.S. reluctance to retaliate against Iran's provocations in the Middle East, and eagerness to enter into a flawed deal in Vienna. In the meantime, they're looking to the U.S. for the tools to strike Iran, like KC-46 air tank refuelers.
That's not the only thing Israel needs, by the way. They also need precision-guided munitions. They need more F-35s, F-15Is, some helicopters, things like that. I would not only accelerate delivery to Israel of this, I would make a show of it. It would be a signal to the Iranians.
Israelis seem prepared for what might be coming. According to a recent poll, over half of Israelis would favor a military strike against Iran, even without U.S. help.
If I was the Prime Minister, I wouldn't wait for the United States. I would take some definitive action now. I don't know if I would bomb right away, but I think as an option B, I think that's probably what I would do. If somebody walks up to you and says, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to kill your whole family, would you wait for that to happen, or would you take some definitive action to prevent it?
Due to the situation in Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. Now, we don't care that India have nuclear weapons or Afghanistan, but Iran is a different thing. It's ideologically of destroying the Jewish country. And the last time somebody had this ideology, he killed almost all of the Jewish people.
But I don't think the IDF leadership harbors any illusions that the United States will take care of this problem. I do believe when it comes down to it, they're going to have no choice. I think the U.S. policy has been only to bring us closer to war. I believe the chances are more likely than not that the Israelis will do something militarily to prevent a nuclear Iran. I just think they know they cannot live with a nuclear Iran. The question is what is their red line?
Whatever that red line might be, it appears to be getting closer. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.